Hey guys, Sen here, back again with some more capital raids, and this last raid weekend just finished, and I was able to get an account to 36,000 and another account to 34,000. I was also able to get some replays against Builder's Workshop, so I'm going to be focusing on that for today's replays, and I'm going to be showing you how you can use rocket loons against that base. So this first base is similar to one of the ones that Itsu posted in a video a while back that a lot of people have been using. I bring 5 Hog Riders to this attack to send on the top side of the base. I noticed there's a lot of air coverage, like the air defenses and spear throwers, and not that much damage to my Hog Riders on the ground. Especially because the Blast Bow and the Giant Cannons, the big splash defenses on the base, are not in range, so I can sneak in with my Hogs and take out a lot of air defenses with those. And you'll notice that in a different video, I believe I used Skelly Barrels instead. I choose to go with Hog Riders for this attack because they're more durable, and I don't want them to, get screwed over by just one small bomb. So I decided that I'd be safe and just use a couple more Hog Riders than I would need Skelly Barrels, and be sure I'm able to take out that top side because there was a lot of air defenses up there. And now I'm just going around the base and trying to do as much damage as I can with my rocket balloons. You'll notice before I go to this bottom side, I drop in one ram first. Builder's Workshop has a lot of zap traps. Zap traps will one-shot your balloons, and sometimes they'll make it so that they're not able to one-for-one the defense you're sending them to. So if you suspect that there's a high likelihood that an area will have a zap trap, you can think about bringing a ram or a super barbarian to send to that area to test for them for Builder's Workshop. So that's one of my big tips. And at this point, I am just figuring out where I want to drop my last few troops, and I forgot to use my zap spells at the start of the raid, so I just set them up for my second attack, no big deal. Alright, getting to the second attack, we're going to finish up with our zap down 3 sets of air defenses, like usual, and then I'm going to start with 1 camp of minions on the top side. They'll work through the trash buildings, and then some of them will go to this wizard tower, and they'll tank for this air bombs. And I can sneak in a couple of rocket balloons to go in to take out this entire section. And I also drop that 1 pack of rocket balloons. Notice that angle. I drop it so that it splashes both the blast boat and the Mega Tesla. So at this point, there's only 2 major threats to my balloons left on the base, which are the air bombs. And so we're just going to try to overwhelm it from all directions after we clear the defenses leading up to it. So just make sure that those air bombs can't get too many of your balloons at a single time. Make sure you're spreading out your balloons, and you can just overwhelm them very easily that way. At this point, there's only 1 Spirit Thrower left, and I'll have basically 2 loons left in the camp for swag, and I'll just speed up from here because all that's left are ground targeting defenses, and obviously they can't shoot balloons. Alright, so for this second base, I noticed that over here, these walls over here aren't completely closed to where a troop can move from this air defense into this forest through this little gap in the wall on the bottom left-hand side. So the way I'm able to take advantage of that is I notice that if I'm able to take out all of these defenses with my zaps and my balloons, clear out this trash over here, as well as open this wall junction, the deployment zone is going to open up into this forest over here, and I'm able to deploy my balloons to directly target this air bombs. And the reason why that's good is in order to reach these big splash defenses on the base, I normally would have to go through these giant cannons, which although they can't shoot up, they have a lot of HP, so they can act as a buffer so that my balloons get stalled on top of them, and then the air defenses and the blast bows are going to fire down on my balloons and take them out. So it's going to cost me a lot of balloons that way. So I'm able to save balloons and get into the air bombs and blast bow really early on in the attack. And so you always want to be thinking about how you're going to get into the big splash defenses when you're using Rocket Loon Zap, because those are the biggest threats that will take out a lot of your balloons at once. So let's just get in the replay, and I'll zap down this section of the base and then clean up with some rocket balloons in behind. And for now, I'm just dropping in a couple of barbs to clear trash and open up the deployment zone. I'll just fast forward through that as the barbs are slowly working into the base. I drop in my zaps, and then I start with my rocket balloons. Notice how before I drop in my rocket balloons, I send in one barb to test for a zap trap. There isn't one, but it's always good to test areas that you think are very likely to be trapped, so that you don't end up getting screwed by that. So once again, drop a couple more barbs, and I have to clear out these defenses over here, like I said, so a couple more balloons over there as well. And this crusher survives at a sliver of HP, so I have to take out this Frost Spell Factory, then drop one more balloon for this crusher, and you'll notice once I take this crusher out, I'm able to drop balloons into the forest in behind this air bombs. So as the balloons are tanking, I drop in 2 balloons to one-shot that air bomb so they can take out this mortar next as well. Alright, and then I start trickling in some more balloons into the base, and with my last few balloons I just need to figure out where I want to drop them in my last few zaps to set up for my next attack. So I decided to take out those 2 air defenses, and I'm ready for my next cleanup attack. So the thing with Builder's Workshop is that it, once again, it has zap traps. It also has mega hidden Teslas on the base. So a lot of the times you're not able to account for everything on the base. So be wary of that, because you're going to have to adapt on the fly when you're attacking this base especially. So I'm just trying to overwhelm all the defenses on the base by sending in my balloons from all different angles. You'll notice that the splash defenses are going to have a hard time keeping up with my balloons, and at this point there's only 1 Mega Hidden Tesla left on the base, and I can just take that out with 1 more pack of balloons. So it gets kind of close here towards the end, but even because those 3 Teslas popped in the center of the base that I wasn't expecting, but I'm still able to take out the base because I'm fast with my balloons. I send them in from all angles so that they can swarm and overwhelm the defenses in the base. Alright, so this last base, you'll notice that a lot of the air defenses and spirit throwers are just thrown carelessly on the outside of the base, which makes it a lot easier than the earlier bases we looked at. But take a look at the way I deploy my rocket balloons. It's very similar to how higher level players deploy loons in the home village, so I thought that was kind of interesting. I'm just going to fast forward as that barb is clearing out the trash over there. And I'm going to start with the ram before I send in my balloons, because I want to test for zap traps. And then I'm going to start with my balloons. I'm going to work my balloons sort of clockwise throughout the base. As they take out defenses, more of the map is open for deployment, and I can deploy more balloons. I need to deploy a barb to also clear out that trash. So as the balloons clear out defenses, I can deploy them further along the line. And these sort of just work their way around counterclockwise, like in the home village. And I just snipe as many defenses as I can, and you'll notice there's not even much left after this hit. And I'll just drop that in that last balloon, and then I'm going to send in some barbs to clear out some trash. That 1 barb down low also pulls a zap trap, which was really nice. And I'm all good for my second attack. For this second hit, I bring in 2 Skelly Barrels. Like I mentioned in the first attacks, Skelly Barrels are really good when there's not any big splash defenses, or just splash defenses in general that can take them all out in one go. And notice how I stagger drop my 2 Skelly Barrels. You don't want to drop them all in at once, because they're really weak to splash and splash traps. So if you stagger drop them, some of them stay in their barrels for longer than others, and they don't all die at once, basically. At this point, I start with my balloons, picking off whichever air defenses are left on the base. You'll notice there's not even much left. There's the blast bow, and I send in some balloons spread around the base so that the blast bow can't hit them all at once, and I just sneak some balloons into it. And there's just an air defense and a Mega Tesla left that I have to take care of, and at this point, all of the air defenses left in the base are gone, and it's just cleanup time with one balloon left in the camp. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. This is basically a Builder's Workshop special, and yes, Rocket Balloon Zap can work against this base as well, but you have to be more flexible than on other bases because there's the Mega Teslas and the Zap Traps that you can't plan for. So it's a little bit harder in that you have to know how to adapt on the fly for the unknown factors in the base. But if you're able to do that, you're going to have a lot of success against the Builder's Workshop because this attack is really strong against it. So try it out in your own raid weekends, and I hope it goes well for you. Alright, like and subscribe if you enjoyed today's video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.